Good evening.
And hopefully a good game for the Broncos offense. They got off to a slow start last time out against Conant. Turned it on in the second half. Outscored Conant by 19 in the second half. And were able to pick up the victory on that time out. The Rolling Meadows Mustangs are wearing black jerseys with purple and yellow trim. The Barrington Broncos in their classic home white uniforms with the red and black trim. Tom, real quick before the start of the game, who is the key player for the Broncos in this one tonight? He's the catalyst. And the tip won by the Broncos. Span taking it up. Over to Alperin around the timeline. Into the corner to Bach. 4-3. Off the iron and no good. Rebounded in the key and turned the other way for the Mustangs. Span almost swiping it away there. Taken, thrown into the corner. Another three attempt. That one falls. Number 3, Giovanni Carrillo, scoring the first points of the night, a three to set the tone early for Meadows. Span drives, fires it over to Reinhardt, lays it off the glass, and then the Broncos have their first points of the night. Jason Bach scored 33. Another three, that one is short, but he will pick up his own rebound. Bach guarding him, throws it. That one's going to be a backcourt violation, and the Broncos will capitalize.
Let me know when I'm like on balance. I can't tell because you're. Is there a level on here? No. That's fine. How about this? Does it look good to you?
Reinhardt picking up the foul on the inside there. I believe that's going to be on the floor. And it will be Alperin's going to take it out underneath for the Broncos. .6:54 remaining in the first quarter. Rolling Meadows leading 3-2. Bach fires it down low. Alperin off the glass and in. The Broncos take a 4-3 lead. Carries it across midcourt. Lets that one fly. A great floating runner. A steal by Carisi after making the basket. They're going to call a push on Span. A good back and forth action so far to start this one off, Tom.
That's right, Ben, but you know, with an early foul from Span, like I said earlier, him being a key player, you got to be careful of picking up really early fouls.
Span late in the game last time out was 9 for 10 from from the free throw line, something that iced the game for Barrington late on. So losing him early to a couple of fouls could be very detrimental to their production. The inbounds pass. Taken around the timeline. Right near the big Bronco logo in the center of the court. He'll drive. Lays off a back foot floater. That one hits glass and nothing else. Rebounded. Bach going straight up and down, avoids the foul. Span drives, takes the foul, and can't finish it. Span took a big fall after that one, went up strong and came down even harder. Span's front end of his two shots. The first one is good. That knots the game at 5 with 6:11 to play. The back end of the two shots here for Span. Fires it up, in and out, and we have a tie game with 6 minutes, 10 seconds left. Drives, cutbacks, fires it to the top of the arc, and a travel. Such a little fundamental thing that you learn from your very start of basketball that kills teams.
You know, the reason they kicked it out there, Ben, is because Jack Reinhardt being in the paint. He's a huge presence in there, standing all of 6'8".
It's something the Broncos have this year that we haven't usually seen, and it's a height advantage for them on the inside. That one swiped away, taken the other way now. And Parsons will control it. We have 5:38 to play in the first quarter, and it is a 5-5 ball game. Fired in the arc. Back up to Span, looks to drive, fires it back out to Alperin. Over to Bach, 4-3, no good. The tip up and in by Reinhard. That's the height you were talking about, Tom. Reinhard picks up his 4th of the night, and another rebound for him there. He'll drive the other way. Took a lot of contact. They're going to call the block. The 3rd foul on the night on the Mustangs.
That's another special thing that Jack can do. Not only that he's 6'8", big presence in the paint, but he can also shoot the 3 ball and run the floor, which is something you really never see from a big man.
It's something we saw last week from Ryan Davis for Conant, an inside and outside scorer. The first shot from Reinhard is up and in.
And I believe last year Jack Reinhard won the 3-point competition for the conference over at Palatine High School, and so that just really shows what he can do on the perimeter.
He's looking to put this free throw in and extend the lead to 9-5, and he does. So with 5 minutes to play in the first quarter, it is a 4-point Barrington Bronco lead. Thrown back up to the top of the arc. Great ball movement from the Mustangs. Looked like he thought about it. The pull-up jumper, no good. Rebounded by Bach.
Yeah, Span's got to work that ball inside, Ben. I really think that's going to be a huge
His speed and his aggressiveness does wonders for him on the inside. NBA distance 3 for Span, and he knocks that one down. A 12-5 lead now for the Broncos.
That's something he's really worked on this offseason, was his outside shot.
That one is fired up and in. After a block, he picked up his own rebound and then got the putback to fall. And the Mustangs reduce the deficit back to 5. Span around the timeline over to Bach. Tried inside to Parsons. That one is knocked out of bounds by the Mustangs. The Broncos will take it out underneath with 4 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the first quarter.
I will say, despite that ball being knocked out of bounds, it was a great look inside from Bach with the feed.
Parsons, if he gets that, we know of his strength and ability to put that ball up. Parsons will take it in the corner. Back up to Span, dangerously near half court. A little lob pass into Span, tried to feed, into Parsons, excuse me. Tried to feed it down low to Bach, and another tip. 4 minutes, about 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 12-7 still the lead for the Broncos. Something that is very important here, Tom. It is a three fouls committed already by Rolling Meadows, something that could hurt him late in the game. Span looked to drive there, pushed down well, up to Bach at the top. A little pump fake action. Span looking to drive now, and he'll take this one back out. The Broncos, as I was about to say, they're not forcing anything. Span threw that one into 3 lanes of traffic.
Really just tried to squeeze that ball in there where there was no space.
A great pump fake, goes to the hoop and finish as well. A great move, and it'll be a timeout taken by the Broncos. 3:38 remaining in the first quarter, Tom. A 12-9 lead for the Broncos. Something they've done well early is control the ball in their offensive possessions, moving it around well, except for a few forced passes that we saw, one there on the last possession. They've been doing a reasonably good job of controlling their offensive play.
That's right, Ben, and like we talked about earlier, is the turnover battle. That's really something that always will control a basketball game. And Barrington's leading that aspect of this game now. And all those passes inside, all except one, I believe, have been knocked out of bounds. They're still winning the turnover margin. However, they have to be careful.
You know, it's only going to last so long for the Mustangs where they're going to be able to knock those passes away. Eventually, they're going to start getting it inside, and the shots are going to start falling from inside for the Broncos. The full court press on Mark Johnson and Will Rader into the game for the first time, replacing Span and Parsons. Alperin setting up the offense from half court. Alperin taking it over. Looking for Johnson inside. Nothing doing. He fires it to Johnson, who finds himself trapped right near the bench. Alperin looks like he's going to drive it. No, he'll stop up, pull it. Reinhard inside to Johnson. Great ball movement. Picks out the pass. Johnson goes up hard and gets glassed on that attempt. Great defensive play. The drive, the shot, and it'll fall off the iron, but he will go to the line for 2 shots.
Back on that offensive possession for Barrington, I did like the aggressiveness Mark Johnson showed, getting the ball, taking a power dribble, and moving himself into a position.
Johnson, a decent-sized height, but his strength and his aggressiveness really compensates for those few inches that he lacks on a lot of the other centers or forwards in the mid-suburban leagues. That front end of the 2 shots from Christie falls short. Got to take the free ones when you get them, Tom, especially in a game this close.
That's right, Ben. Going 12 to 3, nearing the end of the first quarter, every shot's going to count, and then going later in the game, when you look back, saying, "Dang, man, if I had just made those free throws."
He'll miss the back end of that and find himself in a bit of a hole here. Lester into the game. Alperin snatches that pass, nearly taken away. He'll hold here. Lester comes back up out on top, and Alperin will find him. Thought about the 3, down low to Johnson. Fires it cross-court. Raider, the spot-up 3, no good. Rebounded by the Mustangs. Christie will look to run the floor for him here. A lot of speed. Goes inside, lays it off the glass, and it cuts the lead to 1 for the Broncos, 12-11 with 2:25 to play. Lays it off the glass, Reinhard. And the Broncos get the lead back to 14-11, a 3-point lead once again.
You know, another thing about Mark Johnson is he's playing right now at I believe, a power forward position. And he plays like a guard. So to have someone, like you said, Ben, with that size and that talent playing at a big man position, it's really lethal on the offensive end.
That one falls, and then we have a tied ball game, 14-14, 1:40 to play. Raider fires it across half court to Lester, finds Alperin with a long pass over to Raider, inside to Johnson. Great ball movement. Johnson, Lester thought about it, fires it inside, back up to Raider. Tic-tac passing that one short. Alperin gets his own board, goes up strong, and he'll draw the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
That was great ball movement by the Broncos there, Ben. It's just textbook passing all around.
Alperin will go to the line. 14-14 our score. 1:24 remaining. The front end falls. 15-14 our score now.
You know, Ben, something really quick about Justin Alperin. His brother has just recently been diagnosed with MS.
Wow.
And it's really been tough for the Alperin family, especially going through the holiday season. They've really done a great job moving past it. And Justin, as my buddy, has really played through it on the court and is motivating himself to
Definitely one of the leaders of the Broncos attack.
Absolutely.
And it's something that you don't usually see on the high school level, where at the pro or college level, where a lot of those stories about issues that athletes go through are so out there and so out front. And here in high school, guys battling with a lot of things, and you don't see it as much. But for him to be going through something like that, which can take such a toll on his family and him especially, with his brother in such a bad situation, it's impressive. You don't see it. You see him just going through his day, and you see him out here on the court playing like he should. As Raider thinks about the spot up, fires it cross court on the skip pass to Johnson. Drives, goes up strong, fires it to Raider. Tried the alley-oop layup there, and that one couldn't fall. Nearly a free bucket, but he couldn't get it. Fired into the corner. Laid up and in, and it's a tie game with 35 seconds to play.
Now, Ben, you saw Mark Johnson there try and take a charge on the baseline. Barrington's coaches encourage their team to take charges that can be called for blocks, as we know. But if you take a charge, it completely changes the possession of the game.
You talked about turnovers. There's another one. The Mustangs force that one. They'll go to the other end. Parsons fouls him hard. He'll go to the line with 17 seconds left. The game tied at 16 apiece. Tom, I'm going to have to say this, and it hurts to say, but this is a very different Broncos team than we saw beat one of the best teams in the state in the Conant Cougars last Friday night.
That's right, Ben. I don't know whether it's it's just being back the first day of school, but there's not as much energy as we saw on that Friday night.
One thing that they did a great job of is ball movement and their ability to hold on to possessions. And you've seen there a lazy steal given away that luckily has not resulted in too many points here. We'll see if he can knock down the back end of this set of free throws. If he does, it'll put Meadows in the lead for the first time since the first couple seconds of the game, as that one takes a lucky bounce off the back iron and in. 17-16 Mustangs, the first time they have led since it was 3-0 at the start of the game.
Yeah, it's been a bad half end of this quarter for the Broncos, offensively and defensively. They just lost all their gas, it looks like.
A long bounce pass to Bach. He'll drive in, fires to Rader. Span thought about the three. Back out to Johnson. Skip pass, knocked down. A dangerous cross-court pass. Pulls up the three. No good. At the end of the first quarter, Tom, the score, the Meadows Mustangs 17, the Barrington Broncos 16. Meadows came on incredibly strong, going on a 12-4 run to close out that quarter. A pretty high-scoring first quarter. And the Broncos came out in that quarter definitely as the team on the front foot, but they've fallen off a bit. But one thing we saw from last Friday is Coach Tucker makes excellent adjustments during timeouts and breaks in the action. So we'll see what he can do right now and try to turn this Broncos offensive production around.
Yeah, you know, Ben, there's always a lot of criticism for especially a high school basketball coach. I mean, all coaches not in the big whatnot. I mean, you really have to make adjustments very quickly in basketball, especially because, I mean, like we're seeing here, passing it inside is just not going to work. It's getting picked off and it's getting reflected out of bounds.
And something that you lose in the dynamic of high school basketball is in the NBA and college. In college, at least, you get 4 mandated TV timeouts per half. So you get 4 free 2-minute breaks throughout the course of a half that can definitely give your team a chance to discuss things. But here you have 4 timeouts, no extra breaks, nothing like that. So they only have a few short periods of time to try and turn their things around and try to figure things out as a team. So it's definitely an aspect of high school coaching that's a little more difficult than at the college level. Obviously, the college level and the pros is a bit different, but clock management is something that I think is much more difficult in high school.
Right, and not only that for the coaches, but for the players having that little time off, it's just got to wear them out, and that's a tough part of being a player with that little time.
That 3 went long, and they'll call the push. That's on number 34, Andrew Neville, the senior center, tallest player for the Mustangs at 6'4", rivaling the height. (17-16) the score. A long 3, in and out, falls off, rattle around down below, and Rader comes away with the rebound. Will Rader with his first points of the night. And Meadows looks to answer that one, rebounded by Alperin. A deep 3 from Bach, no good. Will Rader collects and puts it up and in. A 3-point lead now for the Broncos, 20-17 with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to play.
That was a great second chance point initiated by Jack Reinhardt right there with that offensive rebound.
6:30 to play. 20-17 in favor of Barrington. O'Donnell takes it up top, fires it over to Jones-Warner. Back over now to Carrillo. The Mustangs slowing things down here, Tom, trying to get themselves back under control. Push called on Span.
That's 2 for Span in the first half. He's got to be careful that he doesn't pick up another before the half.
Reinhardt so far is the leading scorer for the Broncos with 8. nearly half of the Broncos' points so far tonight. The inbounds pass with 6:10 to play. Taking a little spin move, hits him on the inside cut. A great pass and a great finish at the hoop. 20-19 our score, 6 minutes left. Raider almost gets trapped in the backcourt. A long pass up to Bach, who looks to drive. That one rattles around, picked up by Bach, fired to Raider. A bit of back and forth action. Into the short corner now. Alperin looking to drive, lays it up and in, can't get the bucket to fall, but it'll go to the line to shoot two with 5:45 remaining.
That's what we were talking about earlier with Barrington getting inside and drawing those fouls. That's going to be a key part in getting these free throws to put them ahead.
But something we do lack that we see from Anthony Spann is when he gets inside and he takes those fouls, he's able to finish a lot of the time, and that's something you lose when you take him out there. Braden Albertson checking into the game. Rarely sees time on the floor, and he's getting out there now as that back end of the two shots will fall. 21-19 the score in favor of Barrington.
You know, Braden has something that a lot of people on this team don't have, and that is that magical shooting touch from outside. The kid can just let it fly.
And it's something that the Broncos lose, as we talked about, when they lose a lot when they take Spann out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when they take him out, they lose that deep three-point shooting, and that's what Albertson can bring when he's in there. Alperin and Albertson, we might struggle with that throughout the night here. Raider swipes that one away, almost carrying it. Finds himself trapped in the corner. Great steal, and he'll look to run the floor. Takes it down, goes up. SWAT team is in the building, but his team is there to collect that one and put it up. We have a tied game with 5:10 to play in the second quarter. Inside, fires it over in the short corner to Albertson. Reinhardt drives, spins, lets that one up, no good. But Braden Albertson comes down with the rebound back. Another miss and another miss. The Broncos failing to capitalize on free layup chances. 4:45 to play, 21-21 our score.
That's right, Ben. I mean, with those really close-up shots, you just can't afford to miss those layups time after time again.
That one falls off, and Meadows will look to run. Into the corner, fires inside. That pass a bit too high. He'll go up strong. Can't get the finish, but he will get the foul. 4:30 to play, 21-21.
Foul was on Reinhardt. That was a questionable call if it's coming to me, but I didn't see any contact
Reinhardt
there.
was going straight up and down, so for them to make a foul on there is a bit of a...
And he wasn't even touching the guy. He was coming from behind, but just didn't make any contact at all. It's just a tough angle, I suppose.
The front end of the free throws falls, and Meadows regains the lead. This has been about as back-and-forth game as you will ever see. Both teams missing shots, then both teams making shots. It's a shootout tonight here at Barrington High School so far.
You know, the good thing for the Broncos is that the Mustangs have not made a lot of mistakes. However, the Broncos have. So if the Broncos can clean that up, they can stretch their lead. So that's a positive thing that we can look for in the second half, or even come towards this quarter if they can figure it out.
We're about halfway through the second quarter. Broncos down 23-21. Over to Albertson, 4-3, gets the bounce, won't fall. Alperin puts it up, won't get the bounce again. Luck not on the side of the Broncos. That's what I'm talking about, Ben. If we just make those simple mistakes go away, like layups and open shots. Team up there to force the steal. Let's see if they can get something. The foul in the bucket.
There it is. That's what we need.
Alperin finishing strong on the inside, and he'll go to the line to try and put this back at a one-point lead for the Broncos. The score, 23-23, with 3:50 remaining in our second quarter.
Alperin's starting off very hot tonight, and it does appear his brother is in the building. I do have an eye on him now. So
with this bucket, Alperin would tie for a share of the top point scorer for the Broncos, and there it is. Him and Reinhardt accounting for 16 of the Broncos' 24 points. A third of their points coming from two guys. 2/3 of their points, man.
Right.
I got to get back into the math mood. School starting up.
It's been too long, I know.
Yes,
it's been too long. It was a long day, I know.
A great press timeout called by Meadows as he was trapped deep in their own backcourt. We go to this timeout, Tom, with 3:50 to play in the second quarter. The Broncos up 24-23. And for the rest of this quarter, the Broncos will be going to the line. When the Meadows Mustangs foul them, they are in the bonus here.
About 50 seconds left. That's going to be something the Broncos should look to exploit against the Mustangs before the half ends.
Something we have to point out, Tom, is the fans here love the music at timeouts, but it makes it a little difficult for us to do our jobs. A little feedback, a little background noise.
That's all right. It's always good to get the crowd involved.
Through it. Exactly. A pretty good student crowd for a Tuesday night, and especially for our first night back at school. The inbounds pass taken. The Broncos press, not letting off. They'll break it out. Up court. Travel called in the backcourt. No complaints from the Mustangs coach or the player. A very obvious walk and drag of the foot there. So the Broncos get a chance to extend their lead to 3 with a layup. 24-23 the score, will remind you again. The Broncos leading with 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the second quarter of play. Alperin. 5-second call approaching. He gets moving. Fires it over to Bach, who has not been as hot as before. No points for him tonight. Last time out, dropping 33. Took the little pump fake, drove into the short corner, and fires it back out to Lester. Johnson thought about it there for a second from deep, but he'll look to get some more movement going. Alperin at the timeline. Cross court to Bach, to Johnson now near the top of the arc. Back over to Johnson, had some space, thought about it, pump fake, drive, can't finish. That one out of bounds, and it'll go the Mustangs' way.
You know, speaking of Bach really quick, that's something that the Mustangs definitely worked on in preparation for this game, is making sure he doesn't get the looks that he got last game. Because last game he was just left wide open. In this game they're making those closeouts that are really key to stopping a good shooter.
When you see Jason Bach score 33 points on Comcast Sportsnet as Alperin drives here and finishes, extends the lead to 26-23. But as I was saying, the Broncos were on Comcast Sportsnet last week as the man Bach dropped 33. Bach now driving, takes a hard foul. He'll go to the line. I'll finally finish my thought here.
Please.
Bach, the highlight player definitely on Comcast Sportsnet's High School Lights last week when he dropped 33 points for the Broncos against Conant. And that's a big advantage from the Mustangs, being able to see that he's a hot scorer. So they came in this game and have definitely somewhat focused on him, as this would be his first points of the night, and it is, as it is now a 27-23 game. The Broncos up by 4 with about 2:30 left.
And something we just saw was a few minutes ago. Mark Johnson went up for a layup, didn't make it. Appeared to be some contact, but it was a no call. And Coach Tucker took him out right away and replaced him with Parsons, and that's something he does quite often with all his players. And he's really quite ruthless with that, I guess you could say.
He does not like complaining.
Expects perfection, I suppose. But
fires underneath, dangerous pass, ball on the floor there, loose, and they'll break it out to Bach. Lester had an open chance. Bach 4-3, airballs it. We'll call it a pass.
I think that was a pass. That was a pass.
Basket.
Textbook passing right there, Ben. If you disguise it, no one will see it.
The Broncos up 30-23 now. Man, math is not my thing tonight. 30-23 with 2 minutes to play. Meadows going to want to pull this game to at least 5 or 3 points before half. He'll drive there, gets a lucky bounce. Wow. That one dying on the iron and falling in. A 5-point game now. 1:50 to play.
Ben, even if that was luck, that's an impressive finish right there. This kid's got some talent right here.
Continued his motion through the contact and got it to fall. That was number 12, Cormac Christie, who is leading the Mustangs in points with 7. Something very different that I have to point out, Tom, is that Meadows' points are spread much more among their players than the Broncos.
Right.
They don't really have one star player. That one inside, the reverse no good. The tip also no good.
Now that's the only thing about Reinhardt that I think you can complain about is his power inside. He's not as big of a kid despite being as tall of a kid.
He needs some meat on those bones.
Exactly. Now,
Jackson Perkins, the big man for the Broncos last year,
the naval man,
had plenty of that.
That's right.
And we saw it come out a lot as he would be fishing for rebounds, going up strong all the time.
But he doesn't have that shooting touch, so it's a kind of a trade-off depending on what you'd like.
Parsons takes it, inside pass, Alperin took a lot of contact, puts it up, gets it to fall. As we are now below a minute to play, a long, dangerous pass. 32, no shot, foul on the floor. That'll be the 6th foul on the Broncos. With the next one, they'll go to the line to shoot 2.
You know, Ben, even though that play was whistled dead, Joseph Cohen, I believe, the center, is also a big man with a touch. We just saw, you know, it wasn't actually counted, but he apparently can let that thing fly.
45 seconds to play, 32-25 lead for Barrington. .30 seconds to play now. A bit of a waste of time here. Meadows needs to get something going. He'll go up strong, take the foul on the inside. That's Christie again, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. A chance to cut it to a 5-point game before half. 26 to play. Christie will go to the line.
This kid's kind of built like Kevin Durant, buddy. He's lengthy and he can shoot it.
The front end from Christie. Man, he is getting all the rolls tonight, Tom. That one falls in off the iron. Rolled off the front, came off the back iron, and fell in. 32-26 the score now with 26 to play. That one will fall too. It'll cut to a 5-point lead for the Broncos with 26 to play. I'm guessing here, Tom, the Broncos will hold to get the last shot of the half and try to go
There's
in
a
there.
tough press, though, Ben. I don't know if they'll be able to.
Press. They only have a couple more seconds to get it across. They get it across with 2 seconds. Great job there by the Mustangs to try and force something, and they chewed a considerable amount of time off. That one over to Lester. Thought about it, firing into the corner. Reinhardt on the outside. Into Alperin, back out. Lester, 4-3. No good off the back iron. Rebounded. Fired deep.
Oh.
That one will fall short. So as we go into the halftime break, the score, the Barrington Broncos 32, the Rolling Meadows Mustangs 27. I'm Ben Picorni. Next to me is Tom Calhoun. We'll catch you for the second half in 10 minutes. And we are back for the second half of action. Alpern will take it across half court. The score, Barrington 32, Rolling Meadows 27.
Student section's getting into it, Ben.
They're
ready.
Is getting into it, and when Ray goes, everyone else goes. A long pass into the backcourt for Alpern. Fires it over to Span, who will hold back down low to Alpern. A pass blocked down, tipped around a bit, and collected by Meadows as they'll look to run and cut this to a one-possession game. Into the short corner now. Back up top. Screen won't hit the roll man. He'll go up strong. Blocked down. That one out of bounds off of the Broncos.
Well, Ben, we got to see if Barrington can maintain that possession, or the momentum they had going into halftime, because they really put the pedal to the metal going into the break.
Into the corner. Back up top now. Thought about the three. He'll drive now. Underneath, trapped himself there. That's one place you don't want to get. Right underneath the basket. Span will drive, go up strong, takes the foul.
See, that's where he's so good, is in transition, where he can just beat everyone in a foot race and get to the hoop and
His
finish.
speed and his ball handling is what gets it done for him on the inside, and it's unmatched by anyone else. If Span can knock both these down to be at a 3-possession lead for the Broncos, the first one is good. The score now 33-27 with 7:06 to play. The back end is good. It is a 7-point advantage for Barrington.
Did you see that? Span gave a little shove to a Rolling Meadows player as he came by. It might be getting a little chippy out there, Ben. It's always fun to see.
Not a bad thing.
It's always fun to see.
We'll call it competitive.
There you go.
Up top now to the bump in the arc. Back over. Holds at the timeline now to Christie, who's been the catalyst of the offense for the Mustangs so far tonight. He'll drive off his own foot.
Tried to thread the needle there, Ben.
Span drives, can't finish the rebound, and putback is good. Timeout by the Mustangs. Barrington going on a big run here to start the half. It is a 9-point lead with 6:30 to play. We'll take a brief break here for the timeout and rejoin you in about 40 seconds. And we'll rejoin you after that timeout with 6:30 to play. Meadows is going to inbound it, and they find themselves in a 9-point hole here at the start of the second half. Christie will take it across half court here. A little behind the back, showing off some dribbling skill. Oh, it does it again. Getting a little fancy here. The Mustangs need something to spark a comeback. Broncos defense swarming all over the place. Finally finds an open man. He'll hold here right near the Mustangs bench. Down low to Carney. Back over to Carrillo. Fires it over now to Nolan. Nolan back to Goodwin. Holds it just near the top. Carrillo thought about a three, held up there, back to Christie. the Mustangs getting a lot of passes off, but their players are standing right next to each other when they're firing off those passes, so they're not really getting any penetration or shooting chances here. As Nolan will take it, fires it over to Carney. He'll look to drive, stops up near the elbow. Christie loses that one, regains it quick. Spann had him trapped near half court. A deep three from Christie hits off the backboard, and that'll fall to Alperin for the rebound. Long pass down court. Spann fires that one across the backboard. Parsons thought about it from deep. Looking down low for Spann. That pass just a bit too far out of his reach. A costly chance. The Broncos could have gone up by double digits there, but that pass just a bit too far out of reach. 9-point game. 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Mustangs, I think, need a basket here, Tom, before this lead gets too big for them to overcome.
I agree, Bennett. 9 points with no scoring in the last few minutes. They have to get something going.
The drive, the finish.
Good finish. Good finish.
And right as you said it, Tom, they must have heard you down there somehow, and they finish at the hoop well. A dangerous floating pass. That one nearly intercepted. Parsons gains it. Alperin finishes it.
Great find by Parsons there.
The Broncos almost lost the ball. They were quick to regain it. Spann almost picking up a steal.
Uh-oh.
We have a player down for the Mustangs. Christie, their top scorer, is a little slow to get up. I guess now that we're in a timeout, I will shout out my former broadcast partner and BHS TV legend, Alex Gall, down at Arizona State University, said he's tuning into this one from his dorm room in Phoenix, Arizona. So it's good to know we have a cross-country viewer on tonight's stream, Tom.
That's right, Ben. We're going worldwide, baby.
Going worldwide. As that one is nearly intercepted by the Broncos. Fires around. A weird bounce finds its way to Bach. Spann drives. What a finish. And the bucket. Takes the foul and somehow gets it to fall. An 11-point lead for the Broncos.
You know, something I've really noticed with Spann is when he goes in there and does his work and finishes that ball, he always looks to the crowd and kind of gets the crowd moving, you know? He'll kind of give him a nod or a growl or something.
You're going to get the crowd
right,
into
exactly.
It. When you were talking about worldwide or cross-country viewers, Tom, actually for a football game, I believe last year, we had Louis Cosio, one of the players on the team. His father was watching the game from Dubai.
Really?
Yeah, he's an airline pilot, and he was tuning in from across the world in Dubai.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was something pretty cool, and I'll never forget that, having a viewer in Dubai for a high school football game. That one swiped away almost. He'll be out of bounds when he made contact with it. The Broncos will get the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I know we had, God, if I can remember correctly, was it close to Thanksgiving break, was it? Was that when that game was, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a guy in Dubai. I remember there was someone in California, and then my buddy Tim Robinson was down in Pensacola, Florida.
Wow.
Tuning in. I mean, this is quite the production now,
yes,
Ben.
Sir.
I mean, this is amazing.
And especially with our new broadcast van, we got Ethan Madison, Chloe Probsting, Varen Phillips in there working it tonight. Wow, that was a travel if I ever saw one. He missed the layup anyway. He ran from the.
You know where he went? You know where he went, Ben? He went all the way to Dubai. I mean, and there wasn't a plane ride there.
It looked like he was going for a jog in the park. He trotted from the three-point line all the way in. 11-point lead for Barrington. 3:10 to play in the third quarter. A long looping pass finds Reinhard. Lester for three with that odd release of his.
Very unconventional shot right there, Ben.
Rebounded by Christie. Wow, it is a scramble. Johnson picks it up now. Foul called.
I find it kind of odd they called jump ball there, Ben. That
was
appeared to be jumping on the player.
They're calling a foul. I initially thought it was a jump ball too, but they will call the foul.
Okay, good.
As you were saying, there was a lot of contact.
Okay, wonderful.
Johnson will inbound it underneath the basket. 2:55 to play. 11-point lead for the Broncos. Spann thought about it from deep. Reinhard now back to Spann near the timeline from NBA distance. That one is well short. Johnson definitely with a push there going for the ball.
It's trying to be too aggressive close to the sideline. You got to be careful.
But sometimes you can't let up. You just got to play your game, and if a foul comes from you just doing what you do, it's going to happen.
And that's only his first foul, so there's really nothing to worry about for him individually. But Will Rader is coming to the table, so that could be for Mark Johnson.
Good screen set. Can't finish yet again. The Mustangs struggling to make layups. And you got to do that when down by 11. We've been stuck at this 40-29 score for a while. Johnson going to look to change that here. Goes up strong. Charging is the call.
That was a very late call. Very late call.
They waited till the ball went out of bounds,
yeah,
and the players were standing there for a good few seconds.
That's a tough one to call, I think.
Rader coming in for Span instead of Johnson. Interesting move there.
Yeah, he does that a lot, Ben. He does that a lot.
Johnson at 2 fouls. Lester the only one out there who hasn't chalked one up tonight. Rader doing a good job of a one-man press there.
Right. You know, I think the reason Tucker takes him out is he just likes fresh legs out there. Nothing wrong with that.
As Christie will take the foul. Can't finish, but he'll go to the line to try and cut the Broncos' lead to below double digits. The score at the moment is 40-29.
Well, he's at the line again, Ben. He's just going to add to his total here.
Christie looking to make it a double-digit lead, or cut it to a double-digit. As he misses the front end.
It's a new sight.
The score right now as we head to the second free throw, Barrington 40, Meadows 29, 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. Christie on the back end, can't get it to fall. Wow. You got to take those free ones when you're trying to come back. Alperin thought about driving back up to Parsons, who looked like he might have chucked up a 3 there, but he held up. The Broncos going to chew a bit of time off, as there is plenty of time on the clock that they want to get rid of to try and close out this game. Rader over to Parsons, 40-29 our score. We approach the 130 mark of the third quarter. Rader, a long pass cross court to Parsons. Looked down low for Span. That one goes off the Meadows defender. That was number 23, Joseph Cohen.
And I think Jake Parsons has played a completely different role on the team this season. Last year, even as a junior, we saw him scoring more and shooting a lot more. This year, he really doesn't shoot the 3 at all, and he doesn't score a lot, so he's maybe just out there as a role player.
He plays a lot. He's more of their screen and passing guy.
Right.
He funnels the ball from one side of the court to the other, and it's good to have a big guy to be able to do that.
He's like that player that you can always count on to do things, but you never see it show up on the scoreboard.
As Parsons there is hit with the charging call when he went up to shoot that one. And Meadows will get the ball back. Meadows have not scored since there was 6 minutes and 45-second scoring drought for the Mustangs at the moment, as he'll drive in, take the foul. Don't know if it was on the shot or while he was on the floor. 2 shots is the call from the ref. Christie needs to sink these. The last time out, he bricked both of them.
To say the least.
To say the least. Being generous.
Yes. But you know what, Ben? With a player of his caliber, I doubt to see that again.
That one off the back iron, Tom.
I didn't knock on wood, Ben, so that could have been it.
That's true. 29-40 the score, or 40-29, excuse me, in favor of the Broncos with 1:09 to play in the third quarter. Christie on the back end gets it to fall. The lead is now 10 for the Broncos.
I should have said something.
A long floating pass. Span drives, gets the foul. No bucket, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Span at the line. Misses the front end.
There's got to be something wrong with these rims, Ben. I mean, free throws are just clanking everywhere.
At both ends.
I don't know what it is.
the back end from Span. Gets that one to fall. The lead back to 11.
We heard that one from here. That was very clean.
But you do make a good point. You need to make a shot nearly clean swish to get it to fall. Not a lot of lucky bounces either way tonight.
It's pretty crazy how that's happening to both sides tonight.
He'll drive across half court. That's Jones-Warner. Into the corner now. O'Donnell holds, looks down low for Christie.
Good defense.
Not sure if that was a shot or a pass attempt, but the Broncos will find their way onto it. Lester in the corner, thought about three. Down low, Reinhardt looking for Rader.
It had Johnson
Alfred,
wide
good
open.
passing, and they find Reinhardt underneath.
That works too, Ben.
Reinhardt with his 10th of the night. That one up and in. Christie answers at the other end. Alprin so far the leading scorer for the Broncos. 14 points, 0 fouls. A near perfect
Playing a
game
very
for him
clean
so
game
far.
tonight. It's always good to see from a player.
15 seconds left, 43-32 lead for Barrington.
Gotta be careful of that 5 second.
They gotta get moving here. Johnson a bit trapped. 3, 2, 1. Johnson at the buzzer. No good. At the end of the third quarter, the score, Barrington 43, the Meadows Mustangs 32. We'll rejoin you in about a minute here for the start of the fourth quarter of play. As we rejoin you for the fourth quarter action, the inbounds pass, an 11-point deficit that the Mustangs are going to need to overcome here. Down low looking for Chrissy Alperin with a great swipe there. They'll head the other way, nearly carried it. Back out to Rader.
Oh, a little slip of the hand
yeah.
from Miles Lester right there, Ben.
Into the corner. Looking to drive, he'll pull up. A hard swing pass down low. He'll drive here, spinning. Fires the three, that one short. Great rebound though. He loses it there. Yes, the long pass.
Ooh. Jump
ball, that's going to go the Broncos'
Good
way.
effort by Justin right there.
Alperin pouncing on him right as he was about to turn. The inbounds pass is going to come from Alperin. The 5 on the floor for the Broncos right now is Parsons, Alperin, Reinhardt, Bach, and of course Anthony Span, the big man up top. Bach in the short corner to Parsons, back up to Reinhardt. Back to Parsons now. Fires a cross-court pass to Span, looking to drive to Alperin, to Bach for 3, got it!
Bang. First one of the night, right? For Bach?
First 3 of the night for Bach. That puts him at 5 points.
Maybe that'll get him going.
A 14-point lead now for Barrington. 6:30 to play.
Oh!
And the block party was hosted there by Parsons.
Alpern gets a steal and a rebound. And the foul.
They're going to call a block
What a
there.
swing of events for Justin Alpern right there.
So the swat by Parsons.
Rebound by Alpern. Rebound by Alpern.
Yeah.
The fumble by Alpern. The steal by Alpern. And then draws the foul. I mean, what more can you ask for?
6:15 to play. 46-32 lead for Barrington. Don't want to call anything yet, but seem to have this game pretty well locked up at 14-point advantage.
That's right.
The foul, a 30-second timeout. Tom, you talked about it earlier on in the game. Justin Alpern showing up in a big way today with no fouls and 14 points, something he's done very well tonight.
Yes, absolutely. He hasn't had huge games this year, but I mean, the fact that he can put up well-rounded games like this, that are not huge performances but can do a lot of things at once, is always key to help a team win.
And also having 3 Broncos players in double digits, with one of them at 8 points. You have Span, Alpern, and Reinhardt all at or around double-digit point totals so far.
Yeah, one more for Span will put him in double digits.
As Span took the inbounds but fired it right back to Alpern. A long pass to Span, looked for Bach down low, but he got covered up quickly. Bach in the corner for 3. He'll dribble in to Parsons down low, lays it up and in. 16-point game now, 5:50 to play. He'll drive here, fires it into the corner. He'll take a contested 3, no good, and Span with the rebound. Christie with some space. Foul and the bucket. A bit of a questionable call there. Parsons going straight up and down.
No matter what the call was, that was an impressive finish.
Great finish by him.
That's tough. That's a really tough thing to do.
And the first time we've seen the rim be generous to a shooter tonight.
Exactly. There it is.
48-34 our score, favoring the Broncos with 5:30 to play here in the game.
That's 14 points for Christie now. Let's see if he can finally try and hit the free throw to add to 15.
Yeah.
There it is.
He makes it. He'll be at 15 points, and the lead is cut to 13. Still a big deficit for the Mustangs to overcome here late in the game.
And the Mustangs are going to show press, I would assume, for the rest of this game. So it's going to be a tough, long 5 minutes.
Unless it gets to like a 20-point lead, then you could see him just back off, start playing straight up. But the press there broken easily by the Broncos. A long pass finds Reinhardt to Parsons now, lays it up and in. A great finish on the underhanded layup from Parsons. Christie driving now, the pull-up 3, no good. Push called underneath. That's going to be an inbounds pass for the Mustangs, I believe, underneath the basket.
Broncos.
Oh, it will be on the Mustangs. Wow, both teams now, the next time they get fouled, will go to the line. 50-35 our score. Barrington has been in control, I'd say, for most of the second half, Tom.
I would say so.
A long
Reinhardt wide open. Oh, I would have pulled up from 3 right there.
The foul in the bucket. Reinhardt took the foul, got the continuation, and kissed it off the glass to make it a 52-35 game.
Maybe the Rims just enjoy fourth quarter basketball, because that's what it seemed like. Every roll's gone in the fourth.
And the end one attempt falls short there, but Bach with the great rebound finds Lester, who gets it back up to Span. The Broncos will look to chew some clock. Span driving over to Reinhardt, back to Span now, fumbled it a bit, triple teamed. Timeout taken by Coach Tucker to avoid a situation which would have almost definitely resulted in the Broncos losing the ball.
I think that might have been Span who called that timeout. Very heads-up play.
Great play, triple teamed right at the sideline.
Right.
And the back court, so if he steps one to his right, he's got a back court violation, steps out of bounds, and there was no way he was going to force a pass through that hole. makes the smart play, takes the timeout here. We have 4:45 remaining in regulation play. Barrington leading 52-35. Leicester will inbound it here with 4:45 to play. A 52-35 advantage for the Broncos. A dangerous pass. Span gets back. Ooh, okay, there the ref mixing up the two teams.
I wish he had called it the other way. That would have been nice.
Span definitely traveled and then stepped out of bounds. Corrects himself. And barely a second ran off the clock. Thought about a 3. Great shot fake, drives, can't finish, but draws the foul there from Reinhard.
It's
Coach
always
Tucker
tough.
Visibly unhappy with that call.
Right, it's always tough as a referee to make that call when a player's going up and they're up so high. Now, he definitely got ball, but when you call a foul, it's if it even comes down after blocking it and you get part of the body.
Because you have to allow him to return to his original position that he shot from.
So it's really tough, especially as a defender also, to get a clean block and nothing else.
The first one fell off to the side. That one toilet bowls a little and falls in. 52-36, the score in favor of Barrington with just about 4:30 to play in this final quarter. I don't know if that was broken ankles or a slip, but Leicester gets by him. Reinhard a little too strong, brought down by the Mustangs. Christie a long pass. Got to make those wide open threes, especially when you're down by such a large deficit. Bach takes it across half court, will get a little elbow up high, and he'll go to the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Oh, they're already in the bonus, wow.
Not even halfway through the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that's gonna
be tough
in the bonus, nearing
the
double bonus.
It's going to be tough when they're trailing. It's going to be hard to come back now.
The front end of the 1 and 1 is up and good from Bach. 53-36 our score now with 4:15 to play.
You know,
the back end of the 1 and 1 from Bach is no good, rebounded by Carney. Christie a little out of control there with his dribble, composes himself. A great screen set up and no good. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. That'll be the third foul. Excuse me, the fourth foul on Parsons.
Christie's back at the line. He's been there numerous times today trying to cash in again.
The first shot is good. Cuts it to a 16-point game. The referees will correct that. The foul was on Reinhard. I was a little confused there when they charged the foul to Parsons.
Right. Parsons was confused as well.
Yeah, I don't blame him, because that would have put him one foul away from being out of this game. The second shot is good. Cohen checking back into the game for the Mustangs. Nolan will come out. Parsons inbounds to Alprum, a little fake, and he's by both defenders. Cutting through the defense, making Swiss cheese of him. Bach 4-3, no good. Rebounded by Reinhard. Back over to Alpern now. He'll hold. Nearly a 5-second call. Got his dribble back, fired it to Span, who nearly lost that one out of bounds. Span will look to drive over to Reinhard. Down to Parsons. Inside, Bach lays it off the glass and in. 17-point lead. Christie putting on a little dribbling exhibition. Traveling And the Broncos will get the ball.
It was great defense to lock the guy up right there without forcing a jump ball.
I got to give
foul.
credit to Christie here. He's taken a lot of fouls against him. I mean, traveling and other violations, and he's handled it like a true professional. I have not seen him once complain to the officials, being very respectful. So a great scorer and a great competitor.
He's a good ball player.
As that one is swiped away. Can't make those mistakes when you're down 17 in a game. But then again, that is the reason they are down 17, making the little mistakes that will kill you throughout the course of a game. Span to inbounds here with 3:19 remaining in the game. 55-38 our score. Span fires it over to Alperin, who takes it near the timeline. Fires it down low. Parsons, a little hook pass. Finds Reinhardt back up to Parsons. Thought about the deep ball.
That's what I'm talking about. He hasn't shot it much this year. I don't know whether that's his mindset or is he being told not to.
I think at this point the Broncos are trying to chew some clock.
That's true.
As Bach looks down low for Alperin. That one swiped away. Cohen. Christie nearly intercepted. Span making a lightning quick move on the ball.
That could have been a fun fast break right there.
That could have been a fun fast break. I don't know if he can dunk. I'm going to guess no.
Even if he could, I doubt that he would try it, not only being up this much, but why risk being, an injury, I guess, on the way.
Too.
Oh, that too, right. It's just a lot of factors.
A deep three from Christie, in and out. Unlucky for him there. A great shot. Found the space well, but couldn't finish. Parsons gets the pass near midcourt. Finds Alperin. The Broncos will just chew more clock off here as it's down, up, and over the rim, almost getting his own rebound. The refs will call a jump ball. That one will go to the Mustangs. 2:25 to play. 55-38 our score. Carrillo trapped in the backcourt now, taking it across half court, driving all the way. Wow. He bounced straight out of bounds. Yeah, Christie was at a near fever pitch scream in the corner calling for the ball, and he just couldn't find him on that one. 2:15 to play, 55-38, still our score. Barrington with a 17-point lead. Very little time left. They're just going to try and chew as much clock as they can and close out for a victory. That one swiped away. This game not over yet in the minds of the Mustangs. A great move. Couldn't finish. Two missed layups. Tiptoeing inbounds there is Bach, and the Broncos
Great save.
will hold possession. Two chances at an easy layup. Both of them missed. And that is why they find themselves down by 17. Parsons lays it up, takes the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot two with 1:50 left. We have a five-man substitution now for the Mustangs.
You don't see that very often.
You do not see that very often at all.
Bench clearing.
And I think that's just to get some of the guys who don't normally play into the game here. As this game is well out of reach with 1:50 left. Parsons' first shot, no good. A bit of a funky release from him there on the free throw. 5 players in. The Broncos make a substitution of their own. Will Rader checking in, as well as Braden Albertson. Rader coming in for Span. Albertson coming in for Alperin.
Yeah, there's the tongue twister again.
The back end here coming on the free throws for Parsons. That one toilet rolls out. 1:45 remaining, 55-38 for the Broncos. Down low, back up top. He'll hold. A deep three, short, rebounded by the Mustangs. That one took a lucky bounce all the way out. Another three-point attempt. That one won't fall. Out of bounds. 1:25 to play here, 55-38 for the Broncos. Johnson and Justin Maroon coming in the game now for Barrington. Getting some of the sophomores and juniors that don't see a lot of time on the court some chance to get some conference action in as Johnson fires it over to Lester. Back to Johnson now, 1:15 to play. Over to Lester again. Broncos just starting to wane that clock down. 1:05 now. Albertson in the corner. Over to Rader now near the timeline. Albertson thought about the three, gets it down low. Maroon, that one out of bounds off of the Mustangs. We are at the 1 minute mark. Aaron Sarkar and David Kushner coming in for the Broncos now. Johnson and Lester will come out. They will be done for the night. Raider taking the inbounds pass. They're the only player on the floor right now with any points. Albertson for 3, no good. Rebounded by Sarkar, the sophomore, on the inside. Raider turning, firing it to Sarkar. He'll make a great move. Fired it to Maroon near the elbow. Kushner now at the top of the arc with 40 seconds to play now. Albertson in the corner, trapped. Finds Sarkar down low to Maroon across court. Raider, the Broncos, find themselves trapped under the hoop again. Sarkar lays it up and in. The Barrington student section loving that one. The sophomore getting a point, 2 points in a conference varsity game. That one nearly an air ball. It'll come off of the Broncos. 15 to play here, Tom. 57-38. As we have time to close out this game, I'd like to thank our crew on the broadcast tonight. In the truck, Chloe Probsting, Ethan Madison, and Varen Phillips producing our cameramen. Sam Cook, Bellagiani, Riley Trapp, Tristan Nadelku, and Jordan Janke up top on the game cam. That one was up and in, 10 seconds to play. Kushner takes the inbounds, and the Broncos will look to drain out the clock. Possibly a last-second shot coming here with 2 to play. They'll hold this one and dribble it out. Tom, as we close out this one here tonight, the Broncos in a dominant performance. They take this one by a score of 57-40 here on a Tuesday night. The Broncos will be in action this Friday night against rival Fremd away. That game tips off at 6 p.m. We'd like to thank everyone at home and from across the country for viewing in to tonight's stream. The big man next to me is Tom Calhoun. I'm Ben Picorni, the play-by-play voice of Barrington Broncos Athletics, signing off here tonight from the Barrington High School Gymnasium. The score one more time before we go. Barrington 57, the Rolling Meadow Mustangs 40. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.